Welcome to the Brew of Life podcast show, episode 1. I'm your host, Steven, and today we'll be talking about loving yourself. Enjoy the show. Before we jump into this podcast episode, I'm just going to talk about how can you love other people. Now, everyone in this world loves someone, whether it's family or friends, no doubt about it. But there's one rule I think everyone should follow in order to love people around them. Love yourself as well. And you must balance loving yourself and loving other people, because if you don't do that, the more we value things, the less we value ourselves. Now, that was a quote from Bruce Lee, and I think that quote has a lot of meaning to it and relates to this podcast episode, because what she's basically saying is that the more, I guess you could say, love the people around us, we tend to compare ourselves to other people and just make ourselves feel bad while we make the other person feel good about themselves, but we don't make ourselves good as well. Now just think about that quote, and probably that's the quote of the day for you guys, and just think about that throughout the day and just reflect on it. And I want to be talking about how we can love ourselves more, and that is the gateway of happiness, because one way is just being happy, is just accepting yourself and just loving yourself. So we're going to be diving into that, and I'm just going to, say my perspective on how I, just love myself as now, and I just accept myself in this present moment, and just as a human being. So, how in my life I just said to myself that I need to love myself more as a human being. Now the journey that started it all actually happened not so long ago, that made me who I am in order to love myself as a person. It actually happened last month on April, and it was spring break for me. Didn't have no school, and me and the school club I go to, we plan to go to a little trip, and because why not? Because there's nothing really to do on spring break, so why not just enjoy life, just to have fun, and just to hang around with the club. And I said yes automatically, just because most of the times in spring break I didn't really do anything, so why not just get out of the house for once and just to have fun and just to enjoy life overall. Now the day came, and this would change me, just because out of nowhere, I don't really know why though, I was very insecure about myself, and I was putting a lot of negative thoughts in me. I was basically bullying myself. I was just making fun of myself, and while I was doing that, I was just putting myself in comparison mode to other people around me in the club. And I was just saying how, most of the times I was thinking in my mind, how come in my eyes they seem to be having a better life than me? They seem to be a much happier person. They seem to be more talented than me. They seem to be more flawless than me. They seem to be more successful than me. They seem just to have it going, and they seem to have it all planned out. They just seem to have it all planned out, in their lives for the future. And they just seems like they're already, and it just seems like, they're already going to be successful in life. And while I was praising them, the people in my club, I was basically not praising myself. I was just saying how much I kind of felt like a failure, how much I felt abnormal from the rest of the club, how I felt like I was weird, how I felt that I was a very flawed person, and how I never seemed to find that success. Like, for example, what I mean by success is um, school success wise. I was. It seems I would never be successful in school or college for that. For example, because I was mostly thinking about that school wise, sadly, and that comparison mode and that just making fun of myself would would sadly uproar my social anxiety, and it would and that social anxiety, and not only just social anxiety but just overthinking, would have consumed me throughout the trip. And sadly, I didn't really talk to a lot of people in the trip that I don't really know a lot, and I would just be in my comfort zone 24/7, just with my friends that I'm just very comfortable with. Those are like the only people I would talk to throughout the trip, but not to the people that I don't really talk to, though, that I don't really interact with. And I just wish that I would just got out my comfort zone, and just talk to them, and just have a good time with them. And I wish throughout the trip I would have just talk to the people that I don't really talk with, and just get to know them more as human beings. But I didn't, because my mind just tricked me, just saying like how I might be judged upon them, or how they may not like me. Even though in reality, I know that uh, like those people, they are really, really polite people, and they're just really cool to hang out with, and they're really just nice overall. As they're just really nice overall, because I've been with them throughout the school year because of the club, and they seem to be really cool people, and they don't seem those type of people who would just make fun of another human being. They just don't look that type of people. And my mind just made an excuse on why I should not talk to them at all. Now, throughout the trip, I was just kind of feeling down. I was feeling sad just because of it. Just because how I couldn't talk to other people, and why I was comparing to other people, and just overall it was kind of a mess for me. And after the trip, I got home, and I just reflected on what just happened, and I just I just did a perspective on myself on what happened. So I got home, like I said, and just searched on YouTube why I had so much social anxiety in me, and why I was overthinking, overanalyzing everything. For example, like I was overthinking, like, oh, how would they react if I talked to them? Like, would they not like me or something like that? And like, why did I have so much of these negative thoughts in me? And why did I had just overall just had so much anxiety, which I hate. I hate anxiety to this day. Okay? And I hate overthinking. So then I just came to the conclusion that I need to love myself more as a person. And I think that would just change me overall. Just loving myself more. Because what I known throughout that trip, I was basically you know, like just comparing myself to other people and was just making fun of myself and just putting down myself. And plus throughout the trip I didn't put anything positive about me. I didn't really, you know, encourage myself to go talk to these people, and I didn't really was like my mind didn't really try to make me as happy as possible in that present moment back then. So, yeah, that's my story on how this journey has came and just how I just started loving myself. So now I guess you can say we're going to talk about how can we love ourselves and how can we just, instead of just judging ourselves, instead about worrying about our looks, instead about just comparing ourselves to other people, just enjoy life at its finest. So yeah, we're gonna get into that, and yeah. So I think one way to destroy that self doubt, just putting yourself down and just love ourselves more, is destroy that comparison mode that we do to other people and just eliminate that. Because when we compare ourselves to other people, we always just view, other people around us, they seem to be flawless. They always seem to be having a nice life. They seem to don't have any issues at all going on with their lives, and they seem to be very outgoing with other people, and they seem like other people just love them overall and just praise them as well. And they seem to be very talented, and just, in conclusion, they seem to be having the best time of their lives. And then when we look at ourselves, we tend to say that we're struggling in life. We are just not really feeling happy all the time, and we are mostly flawed, not really flawless, and that can make us feel down. Even though in reality, though, that person that we always assume to be having a good life are most likely not having a good life as you as well. They're in the same boat as you. And then, not only that, but when we make a comparison mode to other people, that can also just make oh, what are they going to think about me when I go talk to them, or if I do something, and it just make us pretty insecure about ourselves, and just oh, probably in their minds they're probably not liking us at all, they're probably making fun of us right now, even though what they're probably thinking. I got this YouTube comment. I took a screenshot. And I think it's pretty true. Usually, other people's opinions are a reflection of their own issues. Now, I think that's just really true. And that is from Authentic Self Guide. And he put that comment there. And I think that's where he put it is really good. Because I think, honestly, we tend to worry about what other people are thinking, even though most likely, they're probably thinking about themselves and how they're not really having a good life as well. Or just how they're worrying about other people thinking, oh, how they're going to judge me. And, yeah, just destroying that. Destroying that comparison mode we do to other people. And you're going to feel much, much just happier overall, okay? Overall, you're just gonna feel good about yourself. And now, how did we start comparing ourselves to other people? I think one big thing why we do this is because of social media. Now, I listened to this podcast. I forgot what his name. It's a very popular podcast though. This guy, he was interviewing Elon Musk, and Elon Musk and him talked about how why social media seem to be destroying our lives. And Elon Musk talked about how, like, when we check through, social media like Instagram, and we see, some person's profile, and we just look through their photos, and like most of the times their photos are probably gonna be them being happy, being like flawless, looking beautiful. And then we say how that person who posted that photo, they seem to be having a good life. They be getting tons and tons of like likes and non-stop compliments from people, and they seem to be flawless, and people always seem to be praising them, and that can make us feel really bad. It can make us feel down, and it just makes us say how we're not, really having a happy life, but somehow they are. Even though in reality, these Instagram models, these celebrities, or just anyone who posts on social media, on these social media platforms, they aren't really having the best time in their lives as well. They're not really, they're struggling through just as you. They're in the same boat as you. And most of the times when people post stuff on social media, sometimes they post their fake versions of themselves. They post a persona of themselves, not really their real selves, just a persona. And we develop personas because it can be anything, because of ego wise, like in social media. So we can gain the attention, we can gain those likes, we can gain those compliments from other people, or just not, or like we gain personas because we don't want to get judged upon by other people, and we are scared to show our real versions of ourselves. Now, personas can be bad things because, for example, if you are in a relationship with someone and you put out your fake version of yourself, you put out your persona version of yourself, and you say that and this, this and that to that person, you're telling lies towards, them, and when they they'll most likely believe in it, and then over time, when they find out that you've been telling a lie, and like you're not really saying who you are, then that relationship can crumble down and just fall apart, and that person can never trust you again because you just lied to them. You weren't really putting your real self out there. But if you put your real self out there towards other people around you, then more people are going to like you overall. And not only that though, but once you express yourself, that makes other people express themselves as well. Now that is a win-win, because like that bond between you and just other people around you will grow and grow stronger together, because you are sharing your real self out there. And once you share your real self out there, other people around you, they're not going to be scared of showing themselves as well, and that's a really good thing to do. Another thing I want to talk about is just how sometimes we as people, we worry about looks too much, and like we always just like constantly just like always just trying to look good, like every single time, when we were like around with people, or just like in public, we always just worry about just like how we look. And it's okay, to look nice, okay? It's okay to do that. But like I think what's not really okay is that when it when it just consumes us, and like we always going to be constantly thinking about that, even though you shouldn't be always be worrying about looks, okay? And some people take it as far as just like constantly just putting makeup 24/7, or just doing nonstop plastic surgery just to get a look from a certain way, just because they don't like anything, part of their face. They probably don't like their nose. They don't like their, like, head or eyes. It can just be anything. And, like, um, we as humans just always worry about looks, and I don't think that, like, looks should always be the top priority. I think what's the most top priority is just living life and just being happy, not just looks all the time. Yes, like I said again, it's okay to want to look good, but it's just not okay on just trying to mess up your life just to look a certain way. And sometimes people, like I said, put a lot of makeup 24/7, plastic surgery, or just take and just insert drugs in them in order just to look a certain way, so people can accept them of who they're trying to be. And I don't think that's a really good example. I mean, yeah, as humans, we are going to, like, not going to like what we're going. We don't really like who we are sometimes. Like, we don't like our looks all the times, and sometimes we can't really change that. And I'm just gonna say, like, how you can't, like, accept yourself now, and if you do get to that certain stage of just looking that way that you always wanted, are you gonna really be happy? Because right now you're not really happy yourself, because you're not really accepting yourself, who you are in the present moment. I think it's just important just to accept who you are in the now, okay? And stop worrying about what you're gonna look like in the future, okay? Who knows in the future? And they'll pass out, and probably many years later, most certainly you're going to look different, or heck, even 1 year later or 2 years later. We don't know, and just, like, accept those, insecurities you have. Or, if you just if you just say to yourself that I look ugly, I don't like I don't like, who I am right now, because of, my face is weird or something like that, and I need to modify it somehow or some way, so I can just, like, get into some kind of group of other, of these groups of certain people. And what I want you to do, I think this is going to help. Just go to your mirror and just point out the things that you don't like, and just accept it. Just accept it, okay? Like, if you, like, for example, don't like your hair, just say, you know what? I accept my hair as now, and I'm just gonna accept it in the present moment. I may not like it in the present moment where I am right now, but who knows? And this hair will change probably a year down the road, but I don't really care though, as I just accept myself and I'm happy. Just say something like that, or just, like, you don't like your nose. You think your nose is, like, what, too big. Just say to yourself, you know what? I accept that. I accept my nose being, too big, and I'm not going to care what other people think, and I'm just going to accept who I am right now. And yeah, just do that. If you're, like, feeling insecure about your looks, go to your mirror and just accept it, okay? And just be happy where you are right now, okay? Where you are right now. I talked about, living the present moment in my pre-episode, so if you want to listen to that and you haven't listened to it yet, I recommend you listen to it if you haven't yet. And yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. And let's see what other things we're gonna talk about. Okay, so basically, say another thing I want to talk about is how, I guess, it's similar to looks, is having change in our life. It's okay to have change, and it's okay to have change in our life. It's okay where you say to yourself, like, you know what, I want to have change in my life, for the good. Because if we don't have change, how are we going to grow and develop as human beings? Okay, that's how we evolve, and that's a good thing. But what's not okay is, like, when you want change because you want to brag about it, you want to get the attention from other people, or you're trying to get other people's approval so you can be happy in life, but you won't approve it yourself. And okay, so, like, for example, you're feeling unhealthy, you want to exercise more, and your body, you just utterly just feel like you feel miserable, and you commit to yourself, you know what, I'm going to exercise, and every day, and just go with it. And that's good, because you are just being concerned about yourself, not other, you're concerned about yourself, and you're doing it because of you. But what's not a good example is, like, you want to exercise because so other people so that you can show it off to other people. You can, like, like I said, brag about it, so you can, try to fit in this group of people, and you're just trying to get the attention out of everyone, or, like I said again, trying to get other people's approval, and that's not a good thing. But what is good, if you're just doing it because of yourself, because you're concerned about your own health, you're concerned about just everything about you, and when you just say, I want to change my life because I care about myself, that will be so much better. And like, yeah, just don't do it for the attention, and just do it because of yourself. And I think that'll be one good thing of just loving yourself more. Okay, so I think just destroying that pedestal you do with other people, eliminating that fake version of yourself and that persona, just accepting who you are right now in this present moment, and just trying to put a positive impact in your life for the good, because you're concerned about yourself and care about you. And I think these things will just make you feel free and make you enjoy life the way you want to, and overall just make you feel happy. And that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for those 8 people who tuned in the last podcast episode, which was a pre-episode. So, like, and we got 8 plays. Thank you so much for that. 8, it may be a small number, but for me, it's just a little milestone for me, and I never knew I'll get that many plays. And if you want to support us, just subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, which is the Brew Live Show, and also just search us up on Anchor, where you can find our other 8 platforms as well. And one of the platforms we are on right now is Spotify. So if you use Spotify a lot, maybe make sure to listen to our podcast shows there. And yeah, I can't believe we're also on 8 platforms, which sounds crazy. I never knew I would be on that much, like, podcast distributors out there. So, like, yeah. Anyways, I'm Steven from the Brew Live Show. I hope all of you guys have a blessing day, and yeah, peace.